even after we got the touchdown confirmed, and there's even the picture up on the screen. And I'm like, oh, just wait, that doesn't seem right. Yeah.
I get goosebumps every time. I don't know if it's the music or if it's just the flashbacks to the nightmares of everything that could have gone wrong that night, but I'm glad that it worked well, and it was a lot of work from a lot of people for a long time to make that come off. That was actually one of the exciting things about this particular landing. Unlike the previous landings that weren't quite as televised and promoted as much, everyone who was there watching was feeling the intensity of the event as we were in the control room as well. And that once I saw this after landing and saw all the reactions of all the people who are watching all around the world, that's part of, it really inspired me. And I'm like, wow, they were feeling this too. Relative to Mars, we're going 5.5 kilometers a second. So we're going pretty fast. So a few millimeters per second difference will mean the difference between landing in the targets or not. And basically, the air that we had on the surface was only a few hundred meters. And that's after the 350 million mile trip to Mars.
Yeah, I think the analogy, if I remember correctly, is something like a quarterback here throwing a ball to the receiver in like Florida.
Right.
And hitting that mark.
And landing on home plate, but just off to the center of home plate.
I was wondering, like, what was it like for you in high school? Were you picked on, like, because I'm sure you were pretty smart, and I didn't know, like, did you do well? And then, like, now that you're making science and math and engineering and technology cool, like, what would your advice be for, like, high school students?
I will start to say I was not particularly the best student in high school. I'm very fortunate to have slowly improved with time. Math was not actually ever my strength. I was picked on in school, not so much for being nerdy, I think, as I had. I'm an Iranian American, so I had trouble in school mostly being an Iranian American, not for being nerdy. It probably helped that I wasn't particularly large and easier to pick on. But no, I don't think for being nerdy was that bad. And I gotta say, like, it just seems like it keeps getting better for nerds out there. I mean, like, you think about events like this, it's kind of awesome now.
Being good at math and science is now cool. It's the new Tony Stark thing to do. It's, they don't have this, maybe it's a different time back then. I was picked on, but it had nothing to do with being good at math or science. So, but just stick with whatever you want to do. I mean, whether it's math, science, or art, or history, or whatever your passion is, just do it. One of the things that JP has a history of is the Lucky Peanuts. It's a story that back from the 1960s when all of the Ranger missions were failing and failing.
Rangers 1 through 6.
They were trying to get to the moon and they were just having trouble. One day when they had their failure, one of the engineers joked, it must have been the peanuts that engineer so-and-so was eating. And so from that point on, at all the critical events, they cracked open the Lucky Peanuts, whether it was a launch or future landings or orbit insertions to different planets. And which is contradictory to engineers, which are all about logic and reason, but we're not going to tempt the fates. So it was just a long history. So for all the critical events, including Curiosity landing night, we basically had the Lucky Peanuts.